Hi, Phyllis here, southernfrugal.com. Well, today we got some beef ribs, boneless beef ribs at Aldi, and the meat on them is so super tender and they taste just absolutely delicious. So today I'm going to make those in my Instant Pot, and I'm just going to put a little salt on them and a teeny bit of flour and brown them a little bit first. And then I'm going to put a little barbecue sauce on them and go ahead and have them in the Instant Pot. Now, I tried ribs like that. Now, everybody had said, well, you can't put the barbecue sauce on them before you have them in the Instant Pot. You have to put that on after you take them out. Well, I tried it another way and it worked. So I'm going to do the beef that way this time. All right, so we've got the little ribs. And this is enough certainly for 2 meals for me and Mr. Bucky. And now they've got right much fat on them, but the lean part in there is so good, so tender, and so tasty. So I'm just going to put a little bit of salt on them. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little flour over them. And I'm going to brown them in olive oil. And I've already got my pot heated up. So I just put a little bit of olive oil, that light tasting olive oil in the pot. And that buzzer is to tell me that it's on. So I'm just going to do a little bit of flour. And that'll just make everything thicker. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start putting them in there. Just a little bit of flour. More. Yeah, I just salted one side of them just a little bit because the barbecue sauce is going to be salty. Yeah. See that lean part right there? Can y'all see it? Really lean, and it is so good and so tasty. Of course, it's going to create a lot of fat in the sauce. But I think they've discovered now that fat is not a bad thing for you. That from the 70s or so, when we started eating all the carbohydrates and eliminating the fat, people actually got fat because your body does not turn this fat into your body fat. What makes fat in your body is too much protein or too many carbohydrates, and then your body just stores it. But the fat, it burns up or discards. Did y'all know that? Yeah, we learned that by looking it up. And also the doctor we had here before was very much in favor of eating a diet that had the normal amount of fat in it, and that way you don't eat as many more carbs, you don't eat as much because you feel full. I'm sorry y'all, my light is burned out in the kitchen. I got 2 bulbs out in here and I just haven't changed them. Anyway, we're going to let this brown, and when it gets brown on both sides, we'll be back. Okay, that's what the ribs look like browning. And I actually don't even need a splatter screen over this because it's so high up it doesn't splatter out all over everything. Anyway, we're browning the second side now, and we'll be ready to go ahead and put them on the rack in just a few minutes. Okay, I got the beef ribs just a little bit brown on both sides, and I poured the grease off. That would be that olive oil and some of the fat that cooked out of the ribs. And so now I've got my little rack in the Instant Pot. I'm going to add about a cup of water. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it on meat stew. I better add a little more water. So that's about 1.25 cups of water, but it's not up above the little rack. So now what I'm going to do, I'm using this original barbecue sauce that's from Aldi's too, and it's really like a Kansas City barbecue sauce, which I especially like on beef. So I've put some in a bowl, and I'm just going to dip each rib in there and just coat it on all sides. Now, of course, the ribs are not in any way done right now. And then we're just going to lay them on the rack. Now, some of the barbecue sauce will come off. See, I'm just putting them in the bowl and getting the sauce all over them. Put them right down there on that rack. Might need a little more barbecue sauce. Just get it all over them. Yeah, that flour helps them to get that nice brown on them. That one down there. Yeah, I'm going to need just a little more of the barbecue sauce. Yeah, these ribs are just absolutely delicious. A little more barbecue sauce. So altogether we have got 5 ribs, or the meat of 5 ribs, let's put it that way. So we're just wallowing it all around in that barbecue sauce. And right down on the rack. I'm going to dip out any extra and just put that on them too. Now some of that will go down in the water, but my experience with the pork ribs was most of it stayed on there. Alright, that should do it. Can y'all see in there? I don't know. Let me move you closer. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. You can see better now. Alright, I've got it on. I'm going to go ahead and put my lid on, and it's going to steam them for about 30 minutes. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to slice up some yellow squash that I got today, and we're going to steam those for about 3 minutes. And I've got rice from yesterday and some kale that I cooked yesterday. So that's what we're going to have for our big meal of the day. Alright, when these get done, about 30 minutes, we'll be back. Okay, that Instant Pot has already finished cooking. I was just leaving it in the pot for right now. So I'm also steaming some yellow squash. Now these were kind of big yellow squash, but they do have the smaller seeds, so I'm sure they're the hybrid kind. But I'm going to steam these for about 4 minutes. Then I'm going to put some garlic powder, onion powder, a little salt, and just a teeny bit of extra olive oil on them. I'm going to lift that basket out, dump the water out, and just put them in, and then add a few little spices to them. We really like them that way. So I'm warming up the rice in the microwave that I cooked yesterday, and also some of the kale. Now, I meant to get kale today at Aldi because it is so fantastic. It will cook in 3 minutes, and it's so good. It's very mild, and I'm very sure it's grown up north somewhere, because you can't grow kale here that tastes that good. Kale has to have some cool weather, and we get lots of hot weather here. Even in the wintertime, it gets a little too warm for kale. But anyway, I've got it warmed up, and I'll show you what everything looks like on the plate when we get through. Or maybe I'll open the lid over here and let you look at the ribs in the pot. Alright, hold on. Alright, I'm getting ready to open the lid. The steam has gone down. Let's see what this looks like. I always have trouble with my lid. There. Alright, there they are. Let's see, let me zoom you in closer. Well, hold on. There, you can see them now. See, the sauce is still on them. Now, some of it did come off, but it's mostly still on them, and I can tell you they are very tender. Alright, my squash are just about ready, And we're going to get all this on the plate and I'll show you what it looks like. I can't wait for the ribs. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, we've got it all on the plate. I've got our iced tea fixed now. For dessert, we're going to have honeydew, and we'll have that later on this afternoon. I couldn't remember the name of that in Aldi, but that one looks really good and ripe. Anyway, there are the ribs. So I gave us 1.5 ribs each. There's the squash, just steamed for 4 minutes, which might have been a little too long, maybe 3.5 minutes. We've got jasmine rice, and this is some of the kale from Aldi's, frozen kale. It is delicious. All right, and there's my plate. Got 1.5 for me, and of course Mr. Bucky's got 1.5, although that looks like another whole one. But anyway, that's our meal. All right, y'all, we will see y'all next time. I hope y'all will try these ribs at Aldi's. They are super, super delicious. And the kale, I mean, I can't even describe it. The kale is so good cooked. All right, we will see y'all next time.